Hey guys, Kylie with Peony and Pine Collective. It is Monday. Nobody wants to be here on Monday. I know. I hear you. But I am here with you to give you the full rundown of how my week went last week, how my sales were, some little reseller ramble. You won't believe the platform that beat everything. Can't wait to tell you all the numbers. So we're going to get at it. Again, I am not a high edited, highlighting. I like to sit here in my little natural light corner of my basement at my desk and provide some feedback and some info for you guys. So hopefully that's enjoyable for you. Otherwise, throw me in the corner while you're packing or while you're posting to your platforms. I am here to just chat today. Just chat. If you are new here, again, my name is Kylie, owner of Peony and Pine Collective. I am a 4-year live seller on Whatnot. High volume liquidation, turned at the beginning of this year, curated chaos thrifter. So now I only focus on static selling. So I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been the best pivot in my entire life. So I am very, very happy to be here with you guys. So I've been in reselling for about 13 years total. Majority of that time, it was just a side hustle that I did. I left corporate HR director of a multi-billion dollar manufacturing company about 4 years ago. And my husband and I opened a liquidation store and we ran that for a couple of years. Then we found Whatnot. And once we found Whatnot, it made most logical sense in liquidation and high volume to focus solely on that. So we did that for a while. And then I went back to work. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go back to the real world. It was terrible. I'd lasted less than a year. So there was my little break and hiatus. And then 2025, I restarted into liquidation again because I'm crazy. Ended up having 2 warehouses. It was just insanity. So my Whatnot journey is a little bit different going to be than yours, and that is completely okay. I'm here to talk about it, here to answer any questions that you may have. But let's talk about how I've turned into the static selling style business model that I am in now. So after 4 years of doing the high volume burnout, I was beyond burnt out, nervous system, beyond burnt out. So I turned to thrifting, which has always been my blood. It's always been in my blood. I love it. So we're going to talk kind of about where I was last week, getting back on Vinted, you guys. I know there's a lot of yuck. I hear you. There's a lot of yuck when it comes to Vinted. Sorry. And I get it. Trust me, I was banned for no reason for over a month and then back on it. But this is why I'm just here for it. Coming from Whatnot life, and again, a Whatnot business structure and a Whatnot live selling life, Vinted reminds me a little bit of that. I talked about that before. It is very... it can be addicting from the standpoint of how quick things sell, the ease of the process of posting. It's fast paced. So this was last week. So Monday through Sunday, I did 70 orders on Vinted total, for a total of $690. Okay. That's crazy good. That's crazy good. I haven't had a $690 week. And I don't even know how to tell you that. However, let's see, Poshmark, eBay, Mercari. Woohoo! I had 1 order on Mercari last week. That was exciting. And then Whatnot and Depop. So I'll talk about each one of those. Poshmark, I had 11 orders total for last week for a total of $224 in sales. eBay, I had 6 orders for a total of $163.03. Mercari, hey. Let's get excited. I hear some jingle bells happening. 1 order for $18.04. Whatnot bin, I didn't have any last week. And then Depop was $16.50 1 order. So I am not, my strongest platform has always been Poshmark, and then right behind that eBay, and it still kind of stays the same. So Vinted, let's talk about it. I've had a lot of questions of I'm on Vinted and I'm not getting sales very quickly. I am not the person that's going to know the right or wrong process or strategy or anything to this platform. When I started Vinted, again, I gave up focusing, not gave up. That's wrong mental state. Wrong mental state. I backed away from live selling due to I was burnt out. I am burnt out still. It's a lot. It is a lot. And doing, I was doing 5 to 7 shows a week, 4 to 6 hour shows every day. That also including prepping for the shows, processing, inventory. That also included supporting with packing. I did have my BFF was my packer and she was amazing. But if I wasn't helping pack, I was flipping over to processing for the next day's show. So it was chaos all the time. So anyway, kind of going into that slower pace static selling was terrifying. I'm telling you right now, terrifying. It has became a blessing. I absolutely love doing it and I wouldn't change it for the world. But with Vinted, it can be fast paced. It really can. Last weekend, I made over $100 in less than 20 minutes. So there's still some, goodness that comes out of Vinted. Terrible seller support, terrible customer service, all ran by AI, auto banning for no reason. I am here with you on all of that. My purpose of starting Vinted was really to rid a lot of the bulk of inventory I had left over from liquidation. I was not starting this platform with anything that my premium inventory, if that's what we want to call it, my good stuff for the other platforms. I did not start this platform for that reason. I hear it all the time. It's garage sale prices. Yes and no. Yes and no. So kind of what I worked on over last week was, again, ridding. My garage is still full. My storage unit is down to the bare bones now. It's just my shelving units in there and then a couple little odds and ends, but I have no inventory in there, and that's got to get emptied out by the end of the week because I do not want to pay for another month. So that's a goal there, but my garage still has a lot of inventory in there. So the challenge that happens in liquidation is you get so much of the same item, potentially in the same size or in multiple sizes. A lot of that is called case pack. So I'm down to a lot of Sam's Club that is the same item, same size, that sort of thing. I have some Amazon left, and then I have some Target left. So what I've been really, again, focusing on is I want that gone. I want that gone. So am I posting items on there at, what I would normally or typically sell them for on other platforms? Absolutely not. I want it gone. But here's an interesting little tidbit here is I did test the waters over the weekend. Now, oh, shame on me. You guys, it was so freaking hot here in Michigan. It was terrible. On Saturday and Sunday, you literally, especially on Sunday, you walked out and you were moist. As soon as you walked outside, you were just full of sweat. It was so humid. So my husband and I just said, you know what? We are not doing anything wild and crazy. We're not working this weekend. We're just enjoying the weekend. I like that. I liked that. That was nice. So Saturday, we ended up garage sailing. We had a couple garage sales. We went to the farm. We did some odds and ends on Saturday, and then we came home and we took a nap. Guys, I do not nap. I wake up and I am a scorpion woman. Literally. Don't talk to me. If I'm going to nap, it better be like at 4, 5, 6 o'clock at night, so I just sleep through the night. So then, Sunday, there were a ton of garage sales this weekend on Sunday. Girls, normally I'm one that will say, nope, we ain't going. They've been running Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Ain't gonna be nothing left. Holy camole. I didn't buy a ton, but everyone I went to, it was fill-a-bag clothes, which I love going to those, or 25-cent clothing, or half off clothing. So one thing about garage sales is clothing is always the one that is like the least touched, I feel like. It's always folded up on a table. Some people hang, all those type of things, but so many people just walk by a lot of the clothing. So I did find some really cool pieces that I'm excited about, but nothing like overly crazy. And then we stopped at a resale store that is a new one to me, and I loved it. And I found a bunch of vintage decor. So that is what I'll be working on today. But that's just kind of how my weekend went. I had big goals. On Friday, I was like, nope, I'm going to be posting to Vinted. I have a sales goal in mind that I want to hit. So to put it in perspective, again, 690 is what I sold last week with 70 orders on Vinted, Monday through Sunday. But if I go Sunday to Sunday, let me go backwards. If I go last Friday to this Sunday, I sold over $1,100 on Vinted. And that was, I really started focusing that Friday and then that last Sunday. So over $1,100 sold on Vinted from Friday to Sunday. That's pretty, you can't look away from that, okay? It's something you got to look at. For me, the way I look at it again is I was able to make $1,100 in that amount of time frame without being live. Okay, I talk about this very transparently because I closed my warehouses down at the end of 2025 and I moved back home into a garage, my basement, and my storage units. So that when I did that, I still was focusing on doing at least 2 shows a week on Whatnot, and then I went down to 1, and then I went down to none. Because again, and I only have one child. I have one child, one 12-year-old that kept me so busy over the summer between football camps, football weight training, football this, football, it was all over the place. And I am so thankful that I could do that. Now, previous life, I wouldn't have been able to. Because I would have been live. I wouldn't have been able to take him to his sporting events or all of those type of things. So for me, my business structure is not about fast cash. Fast cash does not mean you are profitable. I want that to be something you take away from this video. Put that off to the side. Put that little bit on your computer keypad. Fast cash does not mean you are profitable. And what I mean by that, again, is I say this almost in every video when I talk about Whatnot, is you have got to look at every penny. Every penny. Sourcing, prepping for the show, or processing, whatever you want to say. If you just do random pulls and you don't preload your shop or anything like that, or you don't hang it up or anything like that, you just pull out of a bag, your processing time might be a little bit smaller than somebody who preloads and all of those type of things. So my previous life, I was the HR director of a multi-billion-dollar manufacturing company. I don't know why I just completely stuttered on that, but I did. And one of the big things that I always was a big part of was what was called a time study. If we needed to know, we had to make the product for X, we had to do this, we had to sell it for Z, we had to know how long does it take for each of these processes to happen in the manufacturing life. So in my reselling life, that's something that I also do, is I do a time study for a Whatnot show. For me to do 2 Whatnot shows a week, 2 Whatnot shows, my whole week was gone. That included sourcing, prepping for the show, which I did preloaded as well. That also included the shipping, showtime, and all of that. My whole week was gone to do 2 shows. Okay? So where did that leave me for static selling? Being a mom, being a wife, being able to take my child to sports stuff. It really ate up a lot of that time. A lot of people think you just click a button, you go live, and you're done. No. No. It is not that easy. I wish it were. I wish it were. So between my time studies, between looking at each step of what a Whatnot show does, how much it can do, all of those great things, everybody gets so excited when you see those numbers. It's all over social media, you guys. I see it every single day. every single day. Look at how much I sold. Look at how much I sold. $2,500, $1,500. You see these numbers all the time. The first thing I do is I take 20% off of what they're showing as their gross sales, and then I take that number and divide it by the number of items sold. And that's telling you right now per item what was the average sale price per item. Now, that doesn't mean you didn't sell a $50 item. That does not mean you didn't sell a $180 item. Those happen. That's part of the addiction of the platform, right? Oh my God, can you believe I sold it for this much? I only paid this much, okay? The other thing is I know liquidation prices. I know what people are paying for shoes. I know what people are paying for clothing. I know what they're paying for baby stuff. I know this because I've lived this life for over, a total of 5 years. I've lived this life. I know. So one of the things that I want you to be very aware of is when you're looking at your business model and your structure is, does it make sense? Does it make sense for you? It doesn't for me. At this point of the game, it doesn't for me. For me to be able to sell and make $690 on Vinted on 70 items, it takes me less than 30 seconds to post to Vinted an item. That includes photographing because they don't want big fancy photos. They don't want anything looking great. They want just the average Joe Blow. They don't want resellers on the app, but you're never going to stop that. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. But so it's basic, simple photos, upload and go, and you're done. So less than 30 seconds an item to post onto Vinted. So, and I'm making the full dollar amount. So even if I wanted to sell something for $5, I'm still making $5. If you sell it on Whatnot, you're making $4.20 or something like that. I think it's $4.20. Okay. So again, Whatnot is great if you want that fast cash and you just don't care. You don't want to look at the numbers. You don't want to do any of that. I don't know. You still might look at the numbers. That's probably true. That's probably terrible to say, but I said it. I am just telling you, especially when it comes to Whatnot, be careful. Time sourcing, time prepping for the show time itself, and the packing time. Okay? I don't care what system you use. You can use, a program. You can use the number system. You can make boxes. You can do whatever you want to do. It's still time added. The way I like to think about it is and I don't really put a value add on my own time. So I have a hard time putting it on my time because we love sourcing. If we are solo resellers or whatever we want to call ourselves, we love to source. That's the best part of what we do, right? So it's hard. It's hard to put a dollar value on your sanity, your therapy trip, right? So my rule of thumb is kind of the way I think about it is if I was paying somebody to do this, which I did, I had 3 sellers, I had 3 packers, and I think that was it. 3 sellers, 3 packers, and they were also processors. Okay, so I know what that dollar amount is that I would pay somebody to do the job. I've done it, right? So if you're looking at numbers, it's worth throwing that number in there to look at it, For me, I'm like, that was my therapy session for the day, right? So these are all just numbers I want you guys to start thinking about, and I want you to have visual to you because yes, Whatnot has its place, and I love that for everybody. Like I've told you 100 times, I will be here to help you. I will be here to cheer you on. I will be here to help strategize with you. I will also be here to grieve the bad shows because they do happen. So that platform is so all over the place. It is. It's saturated. I hate saying that because every platform is saturated. I don't think that that's necessarily a challenge or a problem. But I want my community when I go on to Whatnot to get great deals, to do all the things, but it's also a part of my livelihood, right? So yes, there's a balance to that. If you don't want to sell it for $1 and walk away with 47 cents, don't sell it for $1. You got to sell it where you're going to be profitable. And everybody thinks that if you are a pallet liquidator, that your items on your pallets, you're paying 10 cents a piece, which you're not. No different than if you are a thrifter. You're not paying 10 cents an item. Even if you go to the bins, even if you go to the bins and you pay by pound, you're still not paying 10 cents an item. So you have to make yourself profitable in order to do what we do. Otherwise, what are we doing? Why are we just creating busy work for ourselves? And that's where I feel the line in the sand has been drawn for me of going, I don't have the time, patience, soul, I don't know what I want to call it. I don't have it. I don't have it to do stuff for pennies. I just don't. And people are like, yeah, well, Vented's the same way. It's not, though. It really isn't. So again, my strategy for Vented is when I first started doing the thrifting life, I was stuck in the ways I used to do the thrifting life 100 years ago. And that was, and I'll call it out. My Columbias were huge, 15 years ago. My Old Navy sold like bread and butter. Like it was never a problem. You always had these standard brands that everybody bought back then. Well, I have been out of the thrifting reselling game, especially in clothing, for a long time. So I have a lot to learn, right? And I love what I do. I love everything about that. Trash Panda Thrift, I am telling you right now, she is amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I love watching her. She is one of the most amazing humans ever. But her strategies and the way she talks about style and style aesthetics and how to put those keywords into play is so amazing. It's so amazing. So she really has changed the way I think about anything, right? And then Mama on a Mission, Kimmy. I love her. I do. I love her. She is such a good human. She is such a good human. If you're not following both of those girls on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere, please do. Mama on a Mission. Her name is Kimmy, and then Trash Pandas Thrift and Bethany. Fantastic. They are fantastic. You are missing out, and you probably, if you're watching little old me, you're probably already following those girls because they are absolutely fantastic. But Kimmy always talks about stacking your reasons for buying an item, and I love when she talks about that. The way she styles her listings, the way she throws in the keywords, the way she talks about them, the way she calls out like the beautiful detail of an item. It's fantastic. So it's a learning curve. It's not just about chasing bolo brands. It's not just about chasing, the in and the now. It's really diving into, I always think to myself, like weird sells, right? Like that's why I love like some of the boho-y stuff, the hippie vibes, the vintage items. I love that because they're not going to walk into a thrift store and be able to find that item necessarily again. They're not going to necessarily be able to walk into any store and find it again. There might not be 3,000 of those listings out there. So again, I adore both of those ladies so much, and they have taught me in this life so much, and I love it. I love them. So make sure you're following both of those amazing friends. So anyway, a lot of what I do here is just, I want to just be here and talk to you guys as transparently as possible. And again, not beat a dead horse on this whole whatnot thing, but I have a lot of my liquidator friends that are leaving the platform, and they're going to other platforms, like they're doing TikTok, commissions lower, all of those type of things. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm in a completely different journey with whatnot than what you guys are. And love or hate Vented, I hate it. I have a love-hate relationship with it because, again, I got banned for no reason, but I'm back. And I'm thankful to be because, $1,100 in a week or a little over a week, that's a lot of money. I don't do Facebook Marketplace. That's another one that I need to look at redoing. Now, 100 years ago when I was doing reselling, that was the only thing I did. I did Macari, and then I did Facebook Marketplace. So I really need to look back at doing Facebook Marketplace again. Do you guys use Facebook Marketplace? See it on a lot of groups that are like, that's my top selling platform. We love it. Da, da, da. Do you guys like it? Do you use it? Tell me what your thoughts are there. But, I really just kind of wanted to talk about my sales last week. So all in all, from Monday to Sunday was 1,000. I apparently haven't said a big number in a while. $1,095.07. That was my total sales for all my platforms. Now, again, last week, which is a big shame on me, and I know better, but you do what you do. I was not actively posting to my other platforms. Shame on me, I know. I leaned a little bit on the automatic relists for that I use through Nifty. So I leaned on that a little bit. Was probably not my best choice, but again, I was posting to Vented was my primary thing last week. Ay, ay, ay. And then, oh Lord have mercy. So I ran into one issue with Vented last week. Was a lady ordered a blanket. She received the blanket and she said that there was a huge stain on it. There's not any. It's brand new. It's literally brand new, sealed, all of the things. Wasn't a return, all of that. So I'm having her return that item, which is completely fine. And then what was my other one? Oh, my other one on Vented was their mail person delivered it to the wrong house. That's all I know. That's all I know. I feel like there's so much of that with, I have more issues with Depop on that kind of quote unquote scammy side than I do anywhere else. I've got the newest one. So the newest one is, I sold the beautiful, beautiful dress. I even posted on Facebook that I was like, oh my God, it's finding a new home, sold in a week, absolutely love it. And she's trying to tell me the elastic is all busted in it. Ma'am, the elastic ain't busted. I wouldn't have picked it up, nor would I have posted it. So anyway, this is the second time I've ran into an issue on Depop where they don't want to return it. They just want a refund. Well, it ain't happening. So I make my buyers return their items. If they're unhappy with it, I am more than happy to take it back. I don't offer, like, loudly do I post anywhere that I take returns, just because I don't. But that also comes from my Whatnot life. I mean, Whatnot is, sorry, I don't take cancellations, and there's no returns there. So I have had several 4 years of Whatnot. I know any game that's played, Billy swiped, wasn't watching, oh, it was the wrong size, I thought it was the other. I've dealt with all of that. I never did cancellations, but because it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair to the rest of the room. Sorry. Even if they were the only person that bid, it doesn't matter. It wasn't fair to the rest of the room. And, it's right on, be responsible. So never did that. And then of course on Whatnot, there is a lot of scams that happen with returns. It's just not returns, but they get issued a credit. It doesn't come off your books, but it still affects your seller rate and all of those type of things. So a lot of those, it happens. But this one, I'm just like, And what stinks kind of along the lines with Vented is Depop's customer service is not, it's not real fruitful. So when she requested that return, the only thing I could do was issue a partial refund, issue a full refund, or issue the return. That was all I could do. There was nowhere to be like, hang on a second, let me bring somebody else in because I don't believe you. There wasn't anything to do. So we'll see. But once I said the return has been initiated, she's like, I don't have time to return it. I've got this, this, and this. There's no way I'm going to be able to do it. Now, what Depop offers a 6-day window to return the item. Yeah. So the other one that I had on Depop was the same thing. It was posted as a large, not an extra large, and the dress is an extra large. And I said, no. Thank you to Nifty. I was able to pull every single posting I had of that item. And verify. The picture was noted extra large. Like there was not an large anywhere in the title. Same thing. I said I'll be more than happy to receive it back as long as it's received back in the same condition it was received in. I always put that in any communication. And then same thing with her. I don't have time to return it. I'm gone for this amount of time. Da, da, da. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. So now this is a twofer for me. 2 times with the same, basically the same excuse, different situations. So we'll see if I end up getting it back. First time, she never ended up returning it. She kept it. So it was beautiful. I don't know. That's where I'm at. Vinted was a huge help last week. Now this week, again, my focus over the weekend was not here on reselling, posting, and doing that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm focusing on today. Today is going to be posting all of my fun finds from the weekend, and then back to it. Trying to get rid of the rest of this liquidation stuff on Vinted. And then, that was the other thing too. I did test a couple of what I would call my premium items. So basically, from my thrifting life, I did a Madewell pair of bib overalls that I had comped everywhere else was right around $25 to $30 on the platforms. I posted it on Vinted for $25 and sold them for $20. So that was a good one. The way I'm kind of thinking about that too, just from my own food for thought, is okay, if I sell it on Poshmark and my take home is this, then why couldn't I sell it on Vinted right around what my take home would be on a different platform? It's another way to think about it. I don't know. Will it work? Probably not. Is it always going to work? No. Converse shoes, same thing. It was, I think I had it posted for $18 on other platforms, and I sold them for $13 on Vinted, which would have been pretty darn close to what I would have taken home from a different platform after fees. So I don't know. It's just, there's no straight line and there's no exact cookie cutter footprint for anything that we do. Anything we do. My thought is only way you can run your business is don't put everything in one basket, because what if one platform shut down, or what if one platform shut you down? You know, I've been there with Whatnot and I've been there with Vinted. Whatnot was, I don't know, right when I moved back home, I was shut off for over a week. And that's when I was actively trying to sell live 2 or more times a week. I was shut down for over a week for selling counterfeit, which came back to be, no, it's not counterfeit. Okay, thank you very much. Duh. And then, of course, the Vinted selling counterfeit, which wasn't counterfeit. So, I don't know. I mean, I get those protections got to be there because there's a lot of scammy people. And I don't disagree with that structure. There should be a little bit more conversation with the seller, or a little bit more, conversation with the seller to look into it a little bit further before you just ban everything. Or if you're going to ban it, get on top of it right away and help these people that are communicating with you. So I don't know. Anyway, that's what I got. I think that's everything. I think that is everything. All I know is going forward, we're just going to keep doing our thing. And not be afraid. I'm not afraid of anything. That's the thing. I'm not afraid to post to a different platform. I'm not afraid to try something new. What I'm afraid of is repeating the same chaos that I already know causes so much angst in myself, in my life, and in my business. I can't continue to rinse and repeat. And that's, the last year of Whatnot was tough. Was really, really tough, because that's really what it became. And then it just became the whole, you could see it, it's not working anymore. It's just not working anymore. And that's okay. You rebuild, you redo, you find new loves, and you find, amazing people and new communities, and you just pivot. That's what you do. But again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thanks for going over those numbers with me. Thank you for just being you. And, I'm not a big, like I said, I'm not a big content creator. I'm nothing like that. I'm just a girl selling clothes and items from her basement, supporting her family. And if that at least resonates with you, then I am glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. So make it a great day. It's Monday. Who's outsourcing? What do you like to do? Do you like to source daily? Oh God, I wish I could source every day. I wish I could just go every morning for 2 hours or all day. But not yet. All right. Are you guys sourcing this week? Tell me what you're doing. I need to know everything. Again, thank you. I will see you soon. Until the next one.